Perfect. Um, Before we get into the session, why don't you all let me know how you're feeling? We're all at the, hopefully, most of us are at the end of our day. And so definitely let me know how you feeling. Are you tired? Are you hungry? Hopefully, a lot of you haven't eaten dinner just yet since we're about to cook. And we aren't live on Facebook yet, but y'all can feel free to put it in the everyone can type in the chat how you're doing, or you can take yourselves off of mute. You do have that option during this session. Adia, how are you doing over there? Other than hungry.
Other than hungry, I'm good. Still working my way through the latter half of my cold, but getting through it.
Getting through it. Okay, listen. I will take that. Getting through that is very, very important. Something is in the air. The weather's been all sorts of crazy. And so people are catching things, and after they done with it, they throwing it back out for somebody else to catch it. It's a weird, sickly game that's being played right now. So I am hoping that everyone is grounding and finding balance in their bodies to be well. For those of you who it looks like everyone here is a familiar name and face, and so y'all know about Black Women for Wellness. You've known about our Kitchen Diva programming, but perhaps y'all are new to this particular series. We decided this year to do a few cohorts that would allow our skill and our nutrition awareness to build over the course of 4 weeks. And so we are in week 2 of a cooking series called Cook with Me. And for those of you who might not know, tonight you will be cooking with Chef Kendra. Chef Kendra is, I would say, a boss type chef. Okay. She is a restaurant owner of Swift Cafe that is in Lamert Park. But she was also, and I think so Chef Kendra, give me a thumbs up if you still have your Ooh La La catering company. Like, yes, of course. And then if you follow her on Instagram, you know she's got other things happening, sauces, spice blends, all of the things that will be made available to us via a really dope Amazon store, hopefully sooner rather than later. And so she just has a very great way of being patient and gentle with how it is that she teaches, but she is definitely someone who's very passionate and knowledgeable about what to do in the kitchen, how to, really develop great flavor profiles and how to be plant forward. You know, for us, we want to find more ways that will allow us to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into our eating lifestyles. And Chef Kendra has a way of making sure that we do that and it tastes amazing. And so tonight we are definitely in for a treat. I've been staring at this menu for the past 4 or 5 weeks. I've been looking at these vegan bacon wrapped scallops, wondering how in the hell this is going to turn out because it's so simple. And yet I looked at all of the ingredients, like it looks like it is flavorful and amazing. And this is something where it's like, springtime is hopefully around the corner and summertime will be here before you know it. And some of us like to host gatherings with our friends, our sister girls. And I feel like these simple recipes that she's provided us with gives us options for when we are just hosting or even if we by ourselves. Because to be honest, I would make these scallops for myself and probably just eat them alone. But this is an option for sharing as well. And so hopefully you have gotten the menu or the recipe. What we sent out has definitely weeks 1 and 2. And so this recipe that she'll be cooking tonight is in that particular PDF file that was sent to you. After tonight's class, we have 2 more sessions with Chef Kendra left. I will be sending out the updated version of the recipe book, which will have all 4 weeks in case you may have missed week 1, but it'll have the additional recipes that she'll be cooking for weeks 3 and 4. That way you can go shopping this weekend, or if you receive our food distribution, produce bags. You'll have a few of the ingredients there as well, but we want you to take part in this experience by cooking alongside her. And so you getting the recipes in advance will allow you to get your shopping list together. And so tonight, Chef Kendra, if you're ready, give me a thumbs up. I think I see you in here twice, so I need to handle both cameras. Yep.
Can
Okay.
you see
Yeah. Okay.
what that one
Perfect.
looks? I can't see that one.
Yep. So you're good. I'm going to spotlight both of them. Throughout this series, throughout the session tonight, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't know how many of y'all get up close and personal like this with the chef too often. So this is your opportunity to ask away. Okay. She is absolutely amazing. She's a Le Cordon Bleu graduate. She knows her ish, y'all. And so do your best, pick her brain. It is completely warranted. And we get to have a good time. We are recording this. We might even just pop in and go live on Facebook because folks like a good replay. But without any further ado, I'm going to spotlight Chef Kendra. How are you over there?
Good. Hey,
That
everybody.
that is very awesome. Let me get your other.
And I can see my cutting board.
Yep, we see both now.
Okay. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna grab something to just move the laptop up a little bit higher. I want it, or is this okay? Can you guys?
We see
Is this
it.
okay?
Yeah, that's the perfect view.
Okay, cool. Well, so today's an interesting menu, because one thing that's funny is that I actually don't like mushrooms.
Wait, what, Kendra? You know tonight we doing scallops and we
But
use
and so here's the thing. I love the way that mushrooms make things taste. I love the flavor of mushroom, but it's like a texture thing for me. And I actually don't like scallops either. So it makes sense. But I'm still gonna show you guys this recipe tonight. I still think it's really good. I did taste it and it's really great. I don't know how many of you guys, did any of you guys actually go shopping so far? Because I wanted to quickly go over the ingredients with you, because if you guys did shop, or if you haven't shopped and you want to get this, you may have had a little bit of a tough time finding the oyster mushroom, the king oyster mushroom, and I forgot to put on the recipe card. But if you go to any of the Asian grocery stores, like 99 Ranch is a really good one. You can get the king oyster mushrooms. They look a little suspect, but this is how it looks. And basically you end up taking this mushroom and you slice it up. You slice it up to look like pieces like this to give you that like scallop look. So I just wanted to make sure that if you guys struggled to find this, because I didn't really find it at any regular grocery store, but there was a pack of about 4 and it was $3.75. So one thing about shopping at ethnic grocery stores and markets is you get a wide variety of options like spices, herbs, fruits and vegetables that you wouldn't see at a regular grocery store. And they're a lot cheaper. So definitely, if you plan on doing this, go with that. So there's a few things that we're going to do today. You had 2 options when it came to the bacon. You had an option to do the tempeh bacon, which is something that you could find pretty much at Sprouts. You can find it at any grocery store in the refrigerated section where all of your plant-based items are. And they have tempeh bacon. I'm not a huge fan of that bacon, so I wanted to do the Tabitha Brown's version of making bacon using carrots. So how many of you guys have ever tried carrot bacon? Anyone? I can't even see anybody. I don't know.
I've
Nope,
never even
haven't
heard of
tried
it as a concept.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, here's the thing. I've used coconut shreds to mimic like bacon bits, and this whole mixture, which is this marinade right here that we're going to walk through together. I've done coconut shreds with this, and then you can put the coconut shreds on a sheet tray and put it in the oven at a really low temperature, about 200 degrees. and it'll dry out that coconut, and you can sprinkle it on. And if you use the same marinade, it gives you the idea of like bacon bits. And so it's the same concept, except for we're going to use carrots to make the bacon. So that's that, if you didn't get the tempeh. And then the other thing, we talked about the mushrooms. And so we're also going to just make a little sauce. Like, I feel like a lot of times when you're having plant-based items, like, they don't get to experience the fun. It's like every time I go to an event or I see a place or I go somewhere and they have plant-based, it's always so boring. It's like some kind of salad dish in a cup or something that's just like, why are you doing this? Like, people who are vegan or people who do plant-based deserve to have fun too with their food. And so I didn't just want to show you guys a scallop. I wanted to show you a sauce, like something that, you know, because when you're looking at stuff plated and you see the little drizzle on there, it just like pumps you up and makes you feel like you're having a good time. And the sauce can be used for other items as well. And so we're going to start with making our sauce. We're going to go over the ingredients for our sauce. So I put earth balance butter on there. It doesn't have to be that specific type. It's just any type of plant-based butter, whatever it is that you use. I like earth balance. Country Crock actually has a really good plant-based butter that tastes like, I can't even believe that it's, I almost said I can't believe it's not butter, but ain't that a name of a brand? But I really can't, like, it's so tasty. You cannot taste the difference. I've cooked with it with regular food and dishes, and it's great. So any type of plant-based butter that you want to use, we're going to be using coconut cream. Now, it is important that you guys do not get coconut milk. So let me show you the difference. One moment. I made sure to get both so that I can show you guys the difference. So anything that says coconut milk, it's going to be too thin, because what we're going to be using is the cream that when you open this can, it separates the cream from the coconut milk or from the liquid, and we want to be able to skim off that cream on top. And if you go with the straight coconut milk, it's not going to give you that same texture. So then we want to go with either a homemade broth, or you can get, I put Imagine as the brand, but it's not important, the brand. It's just as long as you have some kind of broth that you want to use. And honestly, guys, if you have vegetables at home, things that start to go bad or stuff that you're not using, throw that stuff in a pot with water and simmer it and make your own stock. Make your own vegetable stock. It's so easy. And then you can put it in ice cubes, like the little containers that you put ice, you can put it in there and freeze it, and then put them in a Ziploc bag, and you've made your own like bouillon cubes. You know what I mean? And it's like stuff that you have at home. And then whenever you're making something, you got that, you can just easily, quickly throw it in. So that's the first thing. So let's go ahead and start with our sauce. I'm going to step over into my fridge over here. And where is my garlic? I actually think that I took my garlic to the cafe, but that's okay. We'll make it work. So can you guys see in my refrigerator? I hope not, because it's a mess.
No, we can't.
Okay, so give me 1 second. Oh, here's my garlic. Garlic, vegetable broth. I should have had this ready. But now the other thing too is, if you don't want to use like a vegan butter, you can always use like olive oil or something like that. It's just something to saute your vegetables in your pan. So it's not really not urgent or anything like that. So I got to figure out how I can do this. I don't want to burn my, can you guys see my cutting board if I move it like over here?
Yep, we still see it.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna get my stovetop going. I'm gonna put just a little bit of oil in there because I don't have my butter. And you don't want a lot. You're just adding just a little bit. While that oil is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and open up my coconut cream. And you don't want to shake it because remember, you want the stuff that's on top. Oh, that's a good shot. Oh, okay. You want the stuff that's on top. So do not shake it up. Otherwise, it's going to mix up and it's going to impact what you're trying to do here. Alrighty. So I want to just show you guys. See how I didn't shake it up, and you see this right here up top. This is what you want. So we're going to put that here, and we're going to get our garlic. Now I'm going to show you guys a little trick, and watch. It's probably not going to work because things never work when you're like trying to do something cool. But I can't stand garlic. Like, I usually buy it already peeled because I hate getting my hands all dirty with garlic. So there's two things that you can do. One, you could choose to roast your garlic, which if you're going to roast it, all you would do is you would cut the top off like so. Cut the top off, wrap the whole thing in foil, and just throw it in the oven for about 40 minutes. And when it comes out, you'll be able to squeeze it out just like this. Now, the other method, you need to have like 2 bowls that you can shake together. So let's see if I have some bowls right here. So I'm going to take my garlic. If your garlic is old, this won't work. So you want to take off I'm not peeling it. I'm just taking it out of this outer shell. And then you're going to take the other bowl like this. My oven stovetop heats up quick. So you're going to take it like this and you're going to shake it. This works with boiled eggs too, guys. If you take boiled eggs and you put them in like 2 bowls that are hard like this and give them a nice little shake, it will actually peel the egg for you. So that's what we're expecting to happen with our garlic. Let's see if it works. Not all the way, mostly. As you can see, mostly it came off. Can you guys see? I don't know which camera to go in. There's a little piece in there, but for the most part, it came off. All right. That was just a little tip, something fun to do. Or you can just get like one of those fancy garlic press and do that route. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up a little bit of this garlic. And you just want to mince it really good. So I just smash it first. And then chop it up, do a rough chop. You can also finely slice it. Like if you're going for presentation, you could do a fine slice on it and that would be really pretty when you get ready to go plate it up. So I'm throwing that into my saute pan, turning my flame back on now that I'm ready. Grabbing this. All right, so I'm sauteing my garlic, and as soon as your garlic starts to be fragrant, you want to, you don't want to keep it on there too much because it will burn. So as soon as it starts to get a little bit fragrant, I'm going to take the top of the cream and I'm going to add it to here like this. And how much does it tell us? About 2 tablespoons? That's about 2 tablespoons. Now this is what's left. You can still use this, guys. Like what was it? I'm trying to figure out, we did chickpeas the last time. You can mix this up, the rest of this, and you can make some curry. I will be selling that very soon. Just a quick little plug. This is going to be available very soon. If you've ever been to I gotta figure out which one. There we go. If you've ever been to the cafe, you've had the chickpea coconut curry bowl. That's what this sauce mix is. So you could have something like this, and you have garbanzo beans from your last event, and you're like, you know what? I want some curry. There you go. So you can, and you guys don't put cans in the refrigerator. Like if you don't use everything, put this into a container and then refrigerate it. You don't want to, once you open a can, you don't want to leave stuff in there with the aluminum. Now, while my sauce is going here, we should be soaking our mushrooms. So I have over here, I've been soaking them. You want to soak them for about 20 minutes. And that's because you're trying to give it that scallop texture. This mushroom is still a little bit on the firm side. And so if you were to just take it, cut it, and saute it right away, like that's not going to be a very pleasant experience for your guests. So what you're doing is you're soaking it in water so that it softens up and it mimics that texture of a scallop. And then these are the ones that I had soaking, and I took them out and I have them just sitting right here on a napkin, because after they soak, you just want them to get soft and plump up a little bit, but you don't want them to go into your saute pan from the water like that. So as you can see, here's my coconut cream. And so I'm going to add a little bit of, this is my, oh my goodness, this is almond milk, y'all. Wrong thing. Here is my vegetable broth. So about 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I measure. You don't have to copy me though. You can use a measuring spoon. So now that we have this going in here, we're going to use a little bit of smoked paprika. Now, there are literally 3 different types of paprika. There's the Spanish paprika, there is a traditional paprika, and then there's the smoked. The smoke just gives it like an extra little pizzazz, but it's not necessary. Like if you don't want to have to go out and buy smoked paprika, just use regular paprika. And if you have liquid smoke at home, you can add a little bit of that. So we're going to go ahead and put about 1/8 teaspoon, which is about like that. I want a little bit more. And then we're just going to let this reduce down. Now, I didn't put it on the actual, I didn't put it on here, but you want to season this. So depending on what butter you use, some vegan butters to me are a little bit on the salty side. And so that's why I didn't put the seasoning on there, because depending on which butter you use, you may not need it. But seasoning is something that you can always add to your own taste. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic salt to this, just a smidgen. And if you want, you can add pepper too, but I'm just going to let this continue to reduce down until it gives me the consistency of a sauce. And I just want to taste this right now. Quickly. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Dang, y'all, like, did y'all try this? Is anybody making this right now, or y'all just watching?
I think a lot of us are watching. This is recorded, and the folks love a good playback.
Okay. Well, this right here, you guys, I'm telling you, did you see how fat, like, how long did it take me to make that? Not even 5 minutes. And this sauce is so tasty. You could literally bottle this up and put it on anything. If you had, like, I don't know what you guys might use for your proteins. Some people do actual like vegan meat, and some people just use things like mushrooms and cauliflower to make steaks and things like that. Whatever it is that you're doing or using, this is a phenomenal sauce that you can just put right over the top. Or if you're doing like mashed potatoes and you want it like a gravy, this is really good, because even though I used the coconut cream, because we added that smoked paprika, the garlic, and that vegetable stock, it doesn't even taste like coconut. It's like yummy. All right, so what we're going to do now, while that's simmering down, is we're going to get our recipe together for our marinade for our coconut, our carrot bacon. So I've already made it here, but just to go over the ingredients. Now this recipe that I gave you guys, it's a lot. It says 6 servings, and this is half of the recipe right here. This was half, and this is about maybe 3/4 of a cup. So if you want, you don't have to do that full recipe, or you can create that full recipe and then put it in a jar. And that's a really nice marinade. You can marinate your vegetables in there. You can marinate your mushrooms and grill it off. And it has like this smoky, like kind of gives you a grilled beef kind of vibe. So this is like gold right here. I also didn't put like a salt on this either, because I just wanted to be sensitive with that, and it's very flavorful, and we are going to be seasoning the mushroom as well. And so yes, Swift is open Wednesday through Saturday from 10 to 6. So what I did now, if you guys, oh shoot, my little carrot, if you guys have this type of potato peeler, it might be a little bit tough to get the size that you want to like wrap your mushroom, your scallop. And so what I did is I kind of just started out using this to kind of thin it out, and then I used a knife to thinly slice it to give me thicker slices. But if you have the type of potato peeler that's actually this way, you might be better off getting bigger pieces with that. Other option is you can kind of go at an angle. And what you want to do, I'm trying to like, I want you guys to see it, but you want to, I've already kind of used this one up a bit, but I'm kind of going on an angle, and you want to go down. I'm going to start with a new piece so you guys can see the whole thing, but this is about the width that you want it to be. Don't that already look like bacon? I made I intentionally got purple purple carrots, because I felt like it kind of has that like bacon look. Like these are the heirloom carrots where it's yellow in the middle. I thought that was cute. So you can really do it up for your guests. Now, do you guys see this sauce, how it's thickening up? You want to keep an eye on that. So after you've made all of your bacon, your carrot, so I cut it too once I get it to the thickness that I want. If I'm not liking the way that potato peeler is working, then I'm gonna just slice it myself. Now, if you do this method, please be careful, guys, because I do not want you to cut yourself. So if you're doing this method where you're slicing it, just make sure your hand is behind and not in front. And so this is like a nice slice that I want to get. And I'm just gonna soak this for about 2 minutes in my marinade. If you have a air fryer, after 2 minutes of soaking this, you're gonna lay down strips in your air fryer, which is what I did. I did it earlier, and I'm gonna have to redo it because now that it's set out, it's like really like bacon and it got crunchy. And I just put it in my air fryer. See how thin it got, which is why you want to kind of do like thicker pieces. And I just laid them out in my air fryer. I'm gonna do a couple more. That's good on my sauce. So I'm taking my sauce off. I'm turning my flame off. And we're letting this soak. We're going to just pretend that it's been in there for a while. Some of these have. And I'm just going to lay this in my air fryer and put it in for, on the recipe card, it says 5 minutes, but you want to do a little bit less because you want it to actually be flexible. And if you do 5 minutes, it's more like bacon, like you're ready to eat breakfast. So for this, we're just going to take these out. I'm going to get this in my air fryer at 350 for about 3 minutes. Okay, so now that we have our bacon going, we are going to tackle our scallop. One moment. I'm going to put my sauce in here. And I'm just going to go rinse out my pan really quick. So I'll be right back. All right. So now that I have a clean pan, what I'm going to do is I am going to, you go to your second page here. What you're going to do is you're going to season your mushroom. I'm just going to do a little bit of garlic powder, salt, pepper. Oh, sorry. Oh, wrong side. It's okay.
Oh no.
That's okay. But you guys, does this not look like a scallop? Like, can you see this? That is so insane. I'm doing black pepper scallop today, okay? So we're just gonna move around this pepper. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and turn my flame back on. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to my pan. Whoops, more than a little. Once we get this hot, we want it to be really nice and hot so that we can sear this, and it really will give you that scallop look, which is actually the truth for scallops too. When you're making pan-seared scallops, you want your flame to be hot and you want to get a nice sear on both sides. So it's not hot enough yet.
Do you prefer the electric stove over a gas stove?
I cannot stand it, y'all. I'm telling you, like, the next 2 weeks, the church that I go to, Center of Hope, they're in Inglewood. They actually want me to do the class there. And so they have a really big commercial kitchen, and I'm gonna do it with a regular stove. But I don't like electric stoves because you can't control the heat like you can with the gas stove. Like if I wanted to turn it down to, no chef really likes electric. But I recently moved and this is what they had. So just got to make it work. All right. This is just so cute. Oh my gosh. And it's like squishy. Can you guys see the, I don't have the right orientation when I'm trying to show y'all. Do you see how it's like?
Yep, that's perfect. Yeah.
So when you first get it, it's not like that. Like this is not, it's a lot more firm, and that's why you want to soak it first. Okay, so my bacon just went off. My heat is okay. Okay, it gave me a little sizzle, but not enough. So back in the day, I would see people like sprinkle a little water in here to see that. Don't do that, guys. What you want to do, if you have baking soda or baking powder, you can just drop a little bit on there. And once you see it start to bubble up, then you know it's ready. Or you can just kind of put your hand over it. It's warm, but it is not hot enough for me yet. We can try one just to see. Well, it's semi. So I'll go ahead and put these in here, but it's not giving me that sizzle that I was looking for. All right, gonna season this one up. Now you want to do this part before you wrap it because you need this to be like pretty much where it needs to be. So we're gonna get a nice sear on both sides. And then after we do that, we're gonna remove it from the pan, and then we're gonna wrap it with with the bacon and put it back in the pan to get it like a little extra golden brown. So let me grab some tongs. So if you were looking for ways to serve this or things to do, there's several things. Number one, you can use a little skewer and have it like as an appetizer. You can put it out on a cute little plate. I'll show you guys when we get ready to do our presentation. This is also something that can be like an entree. If you're doing like potatoes and some kind of vegetable and you want to give it like that scallop look, this can go on there like that. You can also do little cute lollipop sticks. It might be a little harder to get the the bacon, because it's not real bacon, to get it to stick, you would have to kind of finagle it, maybe use a little agave, or you can do a slurry, which is basically cornstarch and water, and it makes it like a paste. And then you can kind of keep your bacon closed with that. And then after you cook it, you can stick your little popsicle stick in there and have like a cute, fun way of serving it that way. So it's still not, I want this to be a deep, deep, deep brown color. Now you might have to put a lid over this because remember, mushrooms are very porous. And so the fact that we soak them in water all of that time, it's gonna want to release out some of that water. That's another reason why if you're sauteing mushrooms, I don't rinse my mushrooms. I take a towel and I dampen the towel and I will wipe the mushroom off like that, because when you rinse them, they're taking in all of that water, and then as soon as you put it in the saute pan, it's going to release all of that water and it will just prevent it from getting that nice color. So because you have oil in here and your mushrooms do have water, you might get some popping. So in that case, you just, if you have one of these fancy thingies, this is just to kind of prevent the oil from splattering everywhere. You can just use one of these, or you can just put a lid on it. And so we're letting that, it smells really good in here, y'all. It really does. It's something about liquid smoke. I love it so much.
What's the little cover called?
This is a, what is it, the technical term? It's like a splatter proof. Let me see. Oh, I can't. My phone is on the thing.
Okay, I can look it up. I just feel like I get oil everywhere when I'm sauteing in my Instant Pot.
It's frustrating, but this is amazing because you put it right over there, and it's the reason why it's a little different from putting a lid is because it has holes in it, so it's still letting the air escape, and so it's not like steaming the item inside.
It's a splatter screen.
There you go. I knew it was splatter something. So I think now we can turn these over. Oh my God, do you see that, y'all?
Nice and brown.
See how it's popping everywhere? So I'm putting this back on. And then I'm gonna check out my bacon. It's over here. Yay! So this is what I wanted. I did not want it to be in there for the full 5 minutes because otherwise it would not be pliable. You want it, because you're gonna be wrapping it, you want it to be flimsy. You don't want to cook it to where it's like crunchy, because then you're not gonna be able to actually wrap it. So it's okay if it's not super, super thin. Like with a potato peeler, you can use a peeler to kind of get you going, and then use the knife to cut it. And it can be a little bit thick because once you soak it in your marinade, it's going to take on that liquid. And then once you put it either in the oven or your air fryer, it's going to soften it up. So this is exactly what I was going for. These other pieces were just a little bit too thin. So let's see, wipe my hand. I want to make sure I'm telling you guys the right stuff here. Okay, yeah. The recipe says instead of using oil to use butter. It's whatever. If butter will give it more flavor. So if you have that vegan butter, and you guys, I'm going to show you guys this next week, but I found a plant-based like heavy cream, and I cannot even believe it. It actually whips up. So anything that I'm making that has like a cream base, so like mac and cheese, or if I wanted to make whipped cream, we talked about how you can use a liquid in chickpeas, but I found somebody created a version. I cannot even think of the brand right now, but I purchased it and I'm going to show you guys next week in the stuff that we make. But it whips up. It whips up and it has that thickness of a heavy cream. And there's also pea protein in there. So you're getting protein from it as well. And I thought it was just so dope to have something like that, because it gives you the ability to make more sauces, to do just a lot of things. And then if you're going to make mac and cheese, like you have that as your sauce base. So I don't know why I brought that up, but just talking about flavor. So at this stage, if you wanted to use butter instead of the oil, you could do that. All right, so I'm going to take a couple of these off. Oops. Be careful at this stage. Splatter, go back on there. All right, so I want to let this cool down a little bit because I literally just took this from the oven, from the stove top. And so I'm gonna go grab my my skewer. I should have. Does anybody have any questions? It's kind of weird when I don't hear or see y'all. I don't be knowing if like y'all vibing with me, if y'all, I don't know what's
You all can also feel free to put questions in the chat or in the Q&A option as well, and we can ask Chef Kendra for you.
So here's just a cute little toothpick. I'm gonna be really good at figuring out which direction to go real soon. Okay, so here's that. We're gonna need this because remember, this is not regular bacon. It does not have that fat, and we're gonna need something for it to stick to. So let's see if I can grab this. Okay, so we're gonna take our carrot bacon and we're gonna wrap it around. Ooh, that's hot. If it overlaps, that's fine. You can just cut off the excess, but we're gonna stick a little skewer through it. Look at that, y'all. So cute. All right. Oh, I thought I turned my flame off and I turned it up. All right. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna let this cool down just a minute. Let me turn on my fan. But I want you guys to, which one is easier to see, over here or over here?
Right, go right there is perfect. Come back. Yep, that is perfect. We can see that.
Now, do you guys see this? Like, how cool is that? And I love the fact when you use heirloom carrots, like this can make it really fun. If you have kids, I ran across a page on Instagram this past week, and I am in love with this page. It is a mother. She has 3 or 4 kids, and they're cooking with her. And they she always has music on, and they're doing they have cutting boards, and they're literally like cutting meat, they're cutting vegetables, and they're all cooking together, and it's so cute. And I was thinking even a project to do with kids, this is something that kids could have fun with. I wouldn't, of course, not have them cut the carrot, but once you cut it, they could wrap this over. And then if you have the heirloom carrots with the different colors, it's something that they can play with and have fun cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap another one. And it is so good. I don't even really like carrots that much, but heirloom carrots are just so tasty. And if anybody has a dehydrator, you can also use that instead of your oven or instead of your air fryer. All right. Oops. That's that. And we'll do one more because when you're plating up, 3 always looks better. Y'all, do you see this? Does this not look like bacon and scallops?
It does.
All right. So now I'm going to remove my splatter pan. And I've cooled down my flame a little bit. And so I'm going to just do one last little, you just want to give it that last little crunch. So we're just going to put it on. This one kind of the length of it didn't go all the way, but that's okay. when you're cutting the carrots, it's better to do them a little bit longer and then have it overlap, and then you could always cut off the excess. But I mean, even if it's doing that, if you serve it with the skewer in there, I mean, it's going to be fine. So I'm putting it back on my flame. And when it says on the recipe, when it says maple syrup, just so you guys know, it's meaning like pure maple syrup, not like Aunt Jemima or what's the other one, Mrs. Buttersworth. Those are like processed, and it's gonna kind of have like a weird taste. If you can, I would do like a pure maple syrup. If you don't want to get that because it's a little pricey, Costco actually has one that's really inexpensive and it's a big one. You could also use agave as a replacement, but maple is better for you. It's low glycemic. So people that have issues with like diabetes or things like that, if you're using this pure maple syrup, it's better. It's a better sweetener option for you. So we're just gonna go ahead and get that nice little bit more color on that. And while that's happening, I'm gonna get myself a cute little plate. Let's see, this is my cabinet area where I usually have cute little platters. Now this is like a cute little platter. If you had an event and you were serving these, I got this literally at TJ Maxx, and it was like $4 or $3. I'm telling y'all, go to TJ Maxx, Marshalls. That's where I go to get a lot of my platters for events. And these are like really good quality. This is like porcelain. Simple Dining is like a really good brand. And every once in a while, just go in there and start collecting things for your house. And then you'll have a cute little, thing that you can put together, a little stash you can start putting together for when you're hosting parties and events and stuff. All right, so if you wanted to make these a little bit cuter, instead of using this type of toothpick, they do have the knotted skewers, like the knotted bamboo skewers. They have them at Smart and Final. I've literally seen them. Where else did it? Sprouts. It was so random. I was getting like micro arugula, and there were like bamboo skewers hanging up right there. I'm like, why would they put that right here? I don't know. But those are really cute because of the knots on them, and so you can, you know, lay them out in a cute way. I only have 3, so I'm not going to use this big plate here. But let's see what. Okay. I have my little marble plate. So I'm going to turn my flame off. And I'm going to put down a little bit of greens. Let's see. Oh, this is perfect. Actually, I found some microgreens in my fridge, so I'm actually going to plate it up a little differently. So I'm going to take these out. They're ready to go. And in culinary, they always say like odd numbers are better. So if you're plating up, you either want to do like 3 or 5, 2 or 4 just don't really, I don't know, it just doesn't do it. All right, so there's that. Then we've got our sauce that's over here. And we're going to drizzle some of that on top. I have to remember, last time I started eating stuff before I took pictures, and then I had nothing to like take photos of, so I'm gonna make sure I take pictures before I dig in. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this sauce on here. And then I'm gonna go over the top of it with a little bit of micro arugula. You can get this at Whole Foods. A lot of grocery stores have like the microgreens. I just like them because they just look pretty. And this is micro arugula. So then I'm just gonna take and kind of like put this like this. You could either put it on one, like, make it look cute like that, or you can kind of do what I did and kind of create a vibe here. And then that is your dish right here.
It looks so pretty and elegant.
And it's 100% plant-based, like no preservatives, nothing. Like this right here is just, and it's very inexpensive. As I was saying, if you guys go find those, like the Latin grocery stores, there's also a Filipino market that I found. It's off of, I'll have to find out where it is, but y'all, this Filipino market, I don't know if you guys know the yellow mangoes, not the ones that you see mainly at the grocery store, but it's the ones that they're yellow only, and they're a little bit smaller, and they have a much smaller seed.
They're so good.
I went to a Filipino grocery store, and they literally had an entire case for $8. A case. Wow. Okay. I was like, is this a mistake? But I'm telling you, I don't know how, but when you go to these stores and you look around, you'll also find fruits that you don't normally see at the regular grocery store. You'll find herbs, even spices. And I would encourage you guys to experiment with that stuff. Like go in there, get that stuff and use it, because you're going to find that it's going to elaborate and expand your palate. It's going to just give you a lot more options. This is incredibly cute. I can't wait to take a photo of this.
Please take a picture and send it to me.
Okay.
They're saying it looks so delicious. It does.
Is.
It looks really good.
I want to take a bite of it, but I got to take a photo of this first. But this sauce, y'all, is fire. The flavor of this marinade, as I was saying, is really good. And then you got those mushrooms that have been soaking. And if you want to step the game up just a little bit, instead of soaking the mushroom in water, you can also soak that in your vegetable broth, because then it's still giving it that plump, but it's adding a little bit extra flavor. So I tend to do that a lot, things that call for water. So if I'm cooking rice or if I'm cooking quinoa, I'm not going to just do water. I'll do like a broth or a stock just to kind of bulk up the flavor a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting.
That looks amazing. Listen, carrots and mushrooms have never looked that good. Okay.
Right. Can you believe
That is really just a bunch of carrots and mushrooms on a plate. That you did that.
And I was telling you guys, it was $3.75 for that big pack. And one mushroom gave me, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, gave me about 7 of these. So that's just one mushroom. So if there were 4 in a pack and I had 7 times 4, that's 28 for $3.75 though, that mushroom. And you can entertain your guests with something like that. Carrots are so cheap, especially if you get a bag, and you don't have to get the heirloom ones, but even if you do, I think it's like $3 for a whole bag. Or you could just go with the orange ones. Those are even cheaper. And these are all the ingredients that we use today are all things that you could just have in your cabinet so that you're not having to run out and like get this all the time. Like I put liquid smoke in a lot of things, even my mac and cheese. And so these are all just ingredients that I just had in the house. And so do what you need to do. If you want to experiment with the flavor profile, you can do that as well. But this carrot bacon though is fire. I mean,
thank you, Chef Kendra. This was amazing, and it looks so pretty even from here.
Y'all, this is so good. Like, who? Listen. Thank you guys so much. Anybody else have any questions with that? I use broth. Oh, it's a whole lot in here. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. I'm excited for you guys to try it. When you guys make these things, please tag me. Make it, tag me. I would love to see your rendition of this. I think it'd be really cool to see you guys' own flair to it.
Yeah, and if you all don't post it on social media, you all can take photos and send it over to me or Charity. the folks on the call most definitely have our emails. I know I email all of y'all very frequently, so you already have my contact information. Does anybody have any more questions before we close out tonight?
This is you. I just want to say thank you.
Hey, Eula.
Hello there. I was a little late getting on. I just came home, but I came home just in the nick of time. Thank you.
Are you going to try it? Are you going to try to make this?
Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I love carrots. I love carrots, nice. and I substitute broth quite often. I add it to my water as well when I prepare dishes.
I like that. And it adds, like, it just gives you a flavor.
Yeah. For sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing, Ms. Eula. Does anybody else have any other questions, comments, concerns, dreams, aspirations?
All of the above, huh?
We're making a dish next week that we're gonna get started right away because there's a lot of steps next. So last week, the first 2 weeks that we did this was like your starter. If you're doing an event, we did our crabless crab cake using chickpeas, which, listen, I was tearing that up the whole week. It was so good. Then we have the non-bacon wrapped non-scallops, and then next week we're going to get into our entree. So and we're also going to be using carrots again. So this is like something I'm trying to show you guys where if you're making things, you can utilize the ingredients that you have to create other dishes with those same ingredients. And so because next week is going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to be showing you guys how to make harissa. And so that is a little bit time consuming. And there's a couple of other things. And then if we have time, I wanted to like show you guys how to make a nice little cocktail to go with the drink or to go with your dish. And we can also make it into a mocktail for anyone that's not doing alcohol.
I just bought some harissa paste recently to make a dish. That's so funny.
Yeah. I'm looking forward, Kendra, to your recipe from last week. This is Ona, because I'm sitting here right now shelling some chickpeas that a neighbor just gave me a whole.
Oh, nice.
Yes, a whole box full. So
it was so good. I'm telling you, it was like truly amazing. It was really? I used all the same flavors that I use when I make normal crab cake, but we just used chickpeas and artichoke. Really? And that's what we use for our texture to give that crab feeling.
Good. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that because I've got all these chickpeas now. I got to find something to do with them. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Well, everybody, that's it for tonight. We thank you again, Chef Kendra, for being here with us, and thank you all for attending the session tonight. If you have any questions or any other questions, comments, concerns, you can email me at adia@bwwla.com, or you can email charity@bwwla.com, and ask any questions that you have. And we look forward to seeing you all next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, have a good night.
Good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.